What would you do if the Chinese government gave you 3,000 RMB up to 5,000 RMB per year just for living out here in China? For me, I would buy myself 1,500 Mishui ice cream and just gorge myself at home and feel great. Now, welcome back to Soul Quest. Today, we're going to talk about how to file your tax or get a tax return in China. Alright, welcome back adventurers. For new viewers out there, my name is Soul Quest. I've been living and working in China for about 6 years so far. As you can see here from my dark eye bag, that's all for the sleepless night I've been through from all the stressful events that I went through in China. And I survived through all that, and this right here is my trophy. And I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to have a good night, rest, sleep, and stay young. And this is the reason why I make this type of channel, to help out new expat survive out here, China 101, and time to time niche travel video others yet haven't fully covered. If you like these type of content, you can click on the like, subscribe, or either comment down below. I'll try to reply to you as soon as possible, because these three type of buttons are the type of food that we all consume. My boy Vivi and Fafa love these type of food. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also share. Now, with that out of the way, let's continue on to the video. Now, technically, it's not really free money. It's tax that you've been paying to the Chinese government, but it is a lot more simple comparison to what we have back in the States. Because back in the States, you kind of have to figure it out, or either hire somebody to do or file your taxes for you. And here, they do have a special bureau where they can file your taxes and also finish up all the things that you need to pay for the government. Now, as for us as an expat, our taxes are automatically deducted from our paycheck immediately, and no worry, no stress at all. There's no need to file all that shenanigan like back in the States. And all of that is also done by the agents as well, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. But hey, another good news, you can get some of those money back through the tax return. Don't be like me, where I lost 2 years worth of tax return because it's already expired. I want you to get as much money as you can, and this is why I make today's video. And that is how to get your money for those tax return. And if you'd like to know how the process is like and how simple it is, continue on to the video. Now, first, you do need a couple of things in order to start your adventure to get your first tax return. And the first thing is, of course, complete your very first contract, which is 1 year for a lot of new expat out there. Unfortunately, for you first-year expat that haven't yet fully finished your first contract, I mean, this is going to be impossible for you, because you do need to finish your first year first, and then after that, then you can collect your taxes. Now, another thing is, you do need a fully functioning WeChat, Alipay, or either bank account. This is a must. This is where you're going to be transferring your money to. And the last one is your passport, and print every salary sheet that the company ever give you. Now, what are salary sheet? Basically, these are salaries information that are given to you through email every month when you get your paycheck. And you need to print every one of these out all in full, because this is what you're going to need in order to process your taxes in the first place. The last thing that you do need is a patience from a Galveston Fisherman, because you're going to need that 100% when you're going to file these taxes, because it's going to take up 2 whole days. Now, before you get into the whole detail, let me give you a quick rundown what your life is going to be like for the next 2 weeks. Now, of course, it's going to be a lot of printing and documentation, including the fee that you pay for your apartment, and also the fee that you pay for your flight to go back home, because this can also increase your tax return, because they do have a law where if you visit your parents, a filial piety, you also can use that for your tax return, which is amazing in my opinion. And another thing is that you're going to be waiting 2 whole days in the tax bureau, and if you're lucky, 1.5 days, because every district have their own tax bureau and some districts don't. So for the part they do have to share a tax bureau, you're gonna probably spend the whole day waiting in line, making sure all your tax documentation are settled. Not only that, the reason why it's gonna take longer for you is because you are an expat and you are not fully filed into the government system just yet, which can be quite frustrating for a lot of us. Now, if you are a Chinese citizen, this can be done quickly, just easily inside an app, like less than like half hour. But since you're an expat and you don't really have your name inside the system just yet, it's gonna take a while longer. All right, let's move on to our very first visit. The first thing you gotta do is, of course, contact your agent or either some local teacher that know how to speak English and Chinese, and ask them, where's the nearest tax bureau and how can I file my taxes? And once you already have that sorted out, they're gonna give you a location in the A map, and all you gotta do is plan out for the days ahead. Now, I would recommend doing it on like Tuesday, Wednesday, or either Thursday, because these 3 days are the days that most people have work and there's gonna be less people on the line. Now, like I mentioned earlier, plan ahead, because the thing is, come in as early as possible. Typically, they open approximately 8 in the morning up to 9 a.m. in the morning, and try to go there half hour before it opens, because once it opens, it's like basically a bum rush into getting the tickets. Now, the ticket is basically the order of people that's going to be called. Now, this right here is going to be a bit more tougher for you because you are an expat, which means there are some times where they're going to like call you off saying like, oh, you're going to have to get another ticket, go to this booth, and you have to like wait another hour. Because the thing is, not every booth can cater to expat, and some people don't have the experience for it. They have to ask for an upper management to help them out as well, which means it's going to take longer for you to process this whole shenanigan. And not only that, make sure you have all your documentation ready, all the pay slip you received, all the payments that you made for the apartments, make sure print everything out. And once everything is all sorted out, this is where you get to the fun part. You wait in line for approximately, how long was it? Like 1 to 3 hours. Now, mind this, do not, again, I repeat, do not go to the tax bureau or any government places approximately 10 p.m. up to 11 p.m. unless if you hate yourself. Now, the main reason why is because around 12 p.m. they all go to lunch. This is just like the national lunchtime, right? That means in case if you don't get called in within the hour, that means you have to wait until 2 p.m. when they reopen again, because lunch plus sleeping time, to actually finish your documentation. So instead of a 1 hour visit, easily becomes a 3 hour visit. So try to come there as early as possible so you have the best chance in order to finish it on the same day. Now, there are 2 ways that this can happen on your very first visit. Either you get incredibly lucky and your company is incredibly organized and they already put you in the system and also file your taxes and everything, etc., and everything can all be finished within the day. Or either you're incredibly unlucky, just like me, where the company didn't file in all your information and the person inside the tax bureau have to file it in for you. So let me tell you a story about my very first tax visit in order to get my tax return. Now, at this time, I came in at 11 a.m. like a schmuck. Now, in my head, I'm thinking to myself, hey, this is gonna take like half hour, 1 hour, because my girlfriend said it's gonna be quick for you to finish your taxes, because as a Chinese citizen, you can actually just input your information and use the app and get your tax return and get your money. And I was thinking about the same thing too. Since she said it's quick, I guess 11 a.m. should be okay. Oh man, I was wrong. And at that time, I went to the Futian one, and it was one of the busiest tax bureau in Shenzhen. And I had to wait approximately 4 hours to even get called in. Now, the main reason why is because I came in 11 a.m. And then after that, I didn't realize it was lunchtime. And so I was like, hey, you know what? I'll just hang around the area, go to Starbucks or go to a Luckin's Coffee for 2 hours. And after I come back there. And I thought after I come back during the lunch hour, it should be finished. But nah, I wasn't even finished yet. I waited another 2 hours and get called in around 4:30-ish. And then they said, we didn't have enough time to file in everything for your taxes. We just barely filed in your name and register you into the government. So you have to come back another day. And so I went back home defeated, wait for another day and have it finished on the next Tuesday, because I think on the very next day, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's gonna be really busy and I'm gonna have to wait longer during those times. So I came in again next week and finally got everything finished. And on my very second visit, I came in around like 7 a.m.-ish. They haven't like opened for another hour. And I was able to get the ticket. But at the same time, I was like run down by a couple of other people because I have to get myself a volunteer or either an employee to help me get a ticket because I didn't really understand Chinese. But yeah, try to come in as early as possible when you're working with any of the government documents, etc., just like that. Now, let's move on to the second visit. Unless if you're lucky enough to finish everything on your very first visit, then I'm hella jealous of you. But basically on the second visit, come as early as possible. And if you don't really understand Chinese to get the ticket, because you do have to scan a QR code, you can ask just a volunteer to help you out in order to get yourself a ticket to be called upon to. But if you do this method, you might lose a couple of seats and you might have to wait a bit longer. So try your best to use a translator. But once you already have everything finished and you're able to get your tax money in approximately 2 weeks or even more than that. But as for me, it was around 2 weeks. I already got my money back. And on your second visit, they're gonna make an account for you and put in your password, etc. like that. So that way on your very next year, you can do it yourself. Because once you already have everything registered under the government, then everything should be all easy and you just get the money every year and just put in all the money that you received every month. And then every year, all you gotta do is just press a couple of buttons and you get your tax return. It's as easy as that. Now, a bit of a story time and also a warning for expats out there. And that is, don't make the same mistake as I did. Because on my 5th year, I realized I can get tax return money from the Chinese government. But then I realized only 3 years are eligible and the other remaining 2 are already expired. Because the main reason why is it's too old for them to actually process and they can't probably process it anymore. And you just lost 2 years worth of tax return money, which kind of sucks. And I really regret that. So make sure that you do this before 3 years and also try to do it as soon as possible because you never know if it's going to be expired or not. Man, don't make the same mistake as I did. Well, it wasn't really a mistake in my part. I just really didn't know about it until my 5th year in China. It's ridiculous. And another thing to this is that most companies won't even tell you about this or won't even mention about it. And I'm not really sure the reason why. I think the main reason why is because it's more work for them to do and they don't really want to do that because they don't even have enough manpower as it is, or either it's just more work for them to do in general. So I think that's the main reason they don't even really notify these expats that these tax return even existed, which really sucks for a lot of expats and they're losing out on a lot of money. And one thing I do want you to do is that if you meet another expat that do live in China, or if you know anyone that live in China, tell them about this message because they can get a lot of money. I mean, not a lot of money, but it's enough money for you to get yourself a new e-bike. It's pretty good. Now for the last subject, when do I receive my money and what should I do next year? Now, typically you're going to receive your money in a span of 2 weeks. And for some people, maybe like in a month or so. It's not that tough at all. But to redo it again next year, it's really simple. All you got to do is open up a mini app. Basically, just ask your coworker, where can I find this mini app? Actually, whenever you go to the teller, they're also going to show you how to open up the app and process it for next year as well. You open up the mini app through WeChat or either Alipay, and you don't really have to worry about the translation because on the upper right corner, there are 3 dots. And once you click on the 3 dot, click on translation. And yeah, the translation might not be great, but you can probably figure it out through the context. You just have to put in your password, username, passport number, and then I think you just got to click a couple of buttons and you get your tax return in the next 2 weeks or 1 month. Now, I'm not going to make a full-on tutorial on how to use this app. I mean, you guys are adults. I mean, you guys can figure it out yourself. It's not that hard at all. Just read, figure out the context, type in the buttons, get your money. But yeah, it's actually really simple to do your tax returns out here in comparison back in the States, where I have to actually pay someone to kind of file my taxes. And even now, I still have to pay someone to file my taxes for Uncle Sam. And if you're a bit curious on that part right there, how to file your taxes as American in China, you can check out my previous video. I went into full-on detail on how to file your taxes to the United States. But yeah, that is all there is to it to file your taxes to the Chinese government so you can get a tax return. It doesn't take too long, approximately like around 2 weeks or up to a month in order to get your money. But the hands-on process is actually quite short. All you got to do is print out a couple of paper slip, your salary, your apartment, and also your flight ticket to go back home so you can get more money out of it. And once you already have that happen, technically it's just hands off. You can just play on your PSP, Nintendo DS, I don't know what other game console there is, and just wait for like 2 whole days in the tax bureau and get everything finished, and they'll do 100% everything for you. Well, not really 100% because you do have to input your own password, but it is really, really simple to do it. Just go to tax bureau and they have one in every district and they'll do everything for you. But the only downside is that you gotta go super early so you can get the first ticket and you don't have to wait too long because the line can get quite long, especially during the weekends. Try your best to go during the weekdays. But yeah, that is all there is to it, to the whole tax session. If you have any questions, comment down below. I would love to know. And if you have any concern or you're worried, comment down below. I'll try to reply to you as soon as possible. And I have one question for you before I end this video, and that is, how do you file your taxes in your country? Is it hard, easy, etc. like that? I would love to know. Comment down below. I'll read it as soon as possible. Until next time, SoloQuest logging out. Peace.